When you play an RPG and you accidentally just dump all your skill points into the totally wrong stat,
Mhm.
like you walk into the starter village looking like a final boss with this maxed out intimidation aura, but your actual defense is at absolute zero.
Right, like a gentle breeze could literally just knock you over.
Yeah.
It is, well, it's the ultimate mismatch between appearance and reality.
Yeah, exactly. And that specific dynamic, the fiction between how the world perceives someone and who they actually are, well, that is the entire engine behind our focus for today's deep dive.
We are digging into the upcoming anime Yowayowa Sensei, which premieres on April 11th. We have a pretty great stack of sources today to go through.
We really do. We've got the brand new official trailer, some studio press releases, and these really fascinating production notes. So our mission today is to figure out how a story can actually build a compelling, sustainable comedy out of just one massive, continuous misunderstanding.
And the absolute center of that misunderstanding is, well, it's Hiyori Hiwamura. She is a newly assigned teacher, and her students are just absolutely terrified of her.
Oh, they really are. I mean, they have literally dubbed her Yowayowa Sensei, which translates to scary, scary teacher.
Exactly.
Oh.
They genuinely believe she's going to place a curse on them if they, step out of line even a little bit.
But her reality is totally different. She is actually Yowayowa Sensei, or weak, weak teacher. Like, going back to that RPG analogy, she literally has zero physical stats.
She really does. I mean, she can barely even project her voice in a quiet room.
Right, so here's my main question. If your main character is entirely passive and, like, terrified of her own shadow, who is actually driving the plot forward, how do you get any real narrative momentum?
Well, the momentum actually comes from this catalyst character named Abekura-kun. He is the student in charge of her class, and he just accidentally discovers her secret.
Oh, wow, so he realizes she isn't some sort of dark sorceress?
Right. He sees she's just this incredibly clumsy, anxious person who is really trying her best. So he actually decides to act as a bridge. He makes it his personal mission to help her clear up this massive misunderstanding.
Which I imagine just sweeps him right into a constant state of heart-pounding trouble, right? Like he's trying to fix the glitch in her public image while desperately protecting her from being exposed as entirely defenseless.
That tension right there is the core comedic engine.
Yeah.
Because she is so physically weak, his determination to support her forces him to constantly intercept the student's fears before they collide with her reality.
Okay, but wait, I'm looking at these production notes here, and I just have to ask, how does a studio stretch the whole she looks scary, but she's actually weak thing across an entire season?
Yeah, it sounds like a 5-minute sketch, honestly.
Right. Doesn't that gag just immediately go stale once we, the audience, get the joke?
Well, that would absolutely happen if this were just a written script. But the animation studio, Brainspace, they're treating this as an exercise in visual and auditory whiplash.
Okay, how so? Like, what are they doing differently?
So the character designer, Naoki Aisaka, isn't just drawing a scary teacher. They had to design a character who genuinely terrifies the students within the world of the show, but simultaneously telegraphs this absolute clumsy vulnerability to you, the audience, in the exact same frame.
Ah, I get it. So we get to see the trembling hands and the panic sweating while the students only really see the glaring eyes and the heavy shadows.
Exactly. The art itself is really doing the heavy lifting to deliver the punchline. And then the musical composition handled by Akifumi Tada and Rina Tayama, that dictates the actual timing of that punchline.
Oh, so the score tells us when to take the scary rumor seriously, like building up this dreadful tension right before dropping the beat entirely to highlight her ridiculous weakness.
You hit the nail on the head. Which brings us to the actual soundtrack, because the musical choices in the press release perfectly mirror that split personality.
Yes, I saw that. The ending theme is literally called Yowayowa Tsuyutsuyo Mini Mini Koa Koa. It's this hilarious mashup of the words weak, strong, small, and scary.
And the best part is that it's sung entirely in character by the main voice cast. It acts as this chaotic, goofy come down after an episode.
But to prevent the show from feeling, completely lightweight, they actually brought in Daoko for the opening theme, Comet, Comet.
Which is a massive shift. I mean, Daoko is a powerhouse, high-profile artist.
Wait, really? That seems like such a weird choice for a silly comedy.
It is a totally deliberate contrast.
Yeah.
You open with this serious, polished musical talent to hook the viewer and set a surprisingly cool tone.
Oh, I see. And then you spend 20 minutes watching this poor teacher stumble through her day.
Right, and you end with the cast singing a frantic recap of the chaos. The show is just constantly playing tug-of-war with your expectations.
So basically, on April 11th, we are getting a master class in contrasting elements. We've got an intimidating shell hiding a zero-stat reality, backed by art and music that know exactly how to manipulate the joke.
It really just highlights how much creative mileage you can get from a single, well-executed twist on perception.
Totally. And before we wrap up today's deep dive, I want you to think about this in your own life. We are laughing at these students for being terrified of a completely harmless teacher, but how often do people misinterpret your own vulnerabilities? You know, your social anxiety, your quietness, your lowest stats as being aloof or intimidating. Next time someone gives off a scary aura, maybe they just accidentally maxed out their intimidation stat and are secretly hoping someone helps them clear up the misunderstanding.